Said I was going to do what I had to do. Boy, I had to hit that for the one time. Big Q, Quincy Hall did. I told y'all last night. Not last week, last night. Nicole Hawker had the race of the meet. Quincy Hall, the realest nigga out there, just took it from him. What a final. What a way to win your first gold medal. I'm going to try and find a way to put the clip in here. Hopefully I don't get copyrighted for it. But if you don't watch track, you got to see this. And hopefully this will get you watching it. What a day. We got the 100-meter hurdles. We're going to talk about. We got the 400 hurdles semifinals for the men. We got the 400 semifinals for the women. We lost some big hitters. We got the 200 male semifinals. Shit, what else am I missing? And then the 400 final. What a fucking day. Like, every day we get something good. Like, every day is something crazy happening on the track. It's been a crazy Olympics. Like, everything that's been going on behind the scenes with the way that they're carrying everything around with the meat and stuff. That's not great. But in terms of the action on the track, we've had drama. We've had fast-ass times. We've had crazy comebacks. And America is on top. America is racking up. Like, we got 3 men in the finals for the 110s versus 3 Jamaican men in the finals. We're going to get to that. That's going to be crazy. And then, let's go. If you're new here, please subscribe because I'm going to be here. And when I say I'm going to be here, not just for the Olympics, I'm going to be here for the rest of track season as I'm on this YouTube. But please, thumbs up the video. That helps so much with pushing the video out and getting more and more of y'all because I want to have more and more y'all having these conversations with me. I'm more unorthodox when it comes to like the track coverage, unlike the big pages like the Race Take, the Final Legs, the City is Mag. I'm a little bit different over here, but come over here because I want to talk to y'all too. But I will see y'all. Thumbs up the video. Drop the comments down below. Let's go. All right, y'all. Let's start it off. We are here finally. Probably the most stacked and the most anticipated, if you ask me. At least for me it is, but I feel like it is for a lot of us. The women's 100 hurdles, the women that never duck each other, like they are the only event where they run against each other probably 10, 12 times a season. So they've seen each other, they've raced each other, they know what to expect from each other. So it's really the best of the best that's going to get in that final, and the best of the best. It's going to be between whoever is the best on that day that is going to win. And there's so many women that can win. And luckily, so far, all the big hitting women have made it to the semifinals. We're going to lose a couple of them in the semifinals because only 8, I believe they're only going to have 8 lanes, maybe 9. So we're going to lose a couple of big hitters, but fingers crossed my favorite makes it through, which we're about to talk about her now. Alaysha Johnson and Tobi Amusan. Tobi Amusan is the world record holder. 12-12. Don't play with her. Previous world champion. Tobi's one of my favorites too. But Lele, that's my dog. Love her like family. So I'm rooting for her, and I was rooting for her to get over this first hurdle. I was up at 4 a.m., stomach in knots, because as we all know what happened in 2022 when she made the world championship team and didn't clear the first hurdle. So I was like, let's just get over this first hurdle and get it done. And that's what she did. Her and Tobi controlled the hell out of that race. Super clean. Both of them over all 10. Neither one of them clipped. Both of them ran pretty solid, pretty smooth. They both were off the gas coming home. Tobi ran 12:49 to win. Lay ran 12:61. Both 2 big Qs on to the semifinals. Love to see it. 2 of the big names that need to be in that final are moving to the semifinals. So we're now going to move into heat number 2. Heat number 2 was not really that stacked. We got Jasmine Camacho-Quinn. She's the big hitter. She's the Olympic champion. We knew she was going to get in here and dominate this race the way she did. The other names, Denisha Cartwright, Pia Shoskovska, and Cindy Sember, those were the other names in this event that we kind of expected to be the next 3 to go through. But Jasmine was the big hitter. Jasmine owned that race. She got out the blocks high. Jasmine typically is not the best starter. So to see her get out the blocks like that was good. To see her moving down the track the way she has, she's found her form back. I don't want to say found her form, but she's found her rhythm. That's the better word. Because This season, Jasmine, I don't want to say she hasn't looked like Jasmine, but she hasn't looked like Jasmine. Like she's still won races. She had a false start in LA. She's lost a couple, but she's definitely still won. But she just didn't seem like Jasmine. Jasmine today was Jasmine Camacho-Quinn, and we know. So she's looking dangerous going into the semifinals. She won that 12:42. Cindy Simber was behind her 12:72. Pia 12:82 to go ahead. They are the big Qs going through. Denisha Cartwright is going to have to run in the repechage. If everything goes well with her, I fully see her getting out of the repechage and going to the semifinals. So the next heat, we got French's own, because she got a big welcome whenever they did her introductions on the Jumbotron. And she is beautiful. Cyrena Samba-Mayela, she's at home. She's in Paris, France. She's at the home crowd. She got a big home advantage. She's a big threat in that final. Masai Russell, U.S. Trials champion. I was about to say U.S. champion, but really U.S. Trials champion, Olympic Trials champion. Second fastest overtime. Second fastest in American history. Broke Gail Dever's record, 12:25. Masai is on a hot streak. She and Lay are very similar in the fact that they are two of the most talented, but two of the most written off. I don't write them off because I know what they're capable of. A lot of people write them off because they've had issues in the past with unforced errors when it comes to running. But as we've seen, both of them, they in their bag. And when they're in their bag, they are threats for the podium. Masai was looking really, really comfortable. She was looking really, really confident. Cyrena as well. And then we also have Nadine Visser, who has also been turning it. She's always been better indoors. But the last half of this season, she's come on. Like she set a PB, I think 12:35, the last race. I think it was in Luzerne. She was right here with these three. These three controlled the race. They were together the entire time, all the way down on the line. It came to a lean, as you can see in the picture. That way. Masai outleaned them on the line. Her and Nadine had the same time of 12:53. And Samba-Mayela 12:56. So those are the big Qs going on to the semifinals. Again, three names that need to be in them semifinals. If we want to have a really, really good final, we need the big hitters, and those three were the three big hitters in their heat. We're going to now move to heat number 4, Danielle Williams. Easy. She was in there with Dataji Kambunji. She went through there as well. Pretty smooth. Danielle Williams, the world champion, the reigning world champion, 2-time world champion. She's the most, when you look at hurdle technique and hurdle form, she has it down to a T. Like the perfect snapback over the hurdles and the bounce and the rhythm that she has going down the track. It's perfect. It's perfect. And when she gets the speed together, because we already know she always gets out the blocks hot. Her start is insane. But she controlled that. Super simple. She hit, I think, 8 or 9, hurdle 8 or 9. But that didn't stop her because who else was in the race besides Dataji Kambunji? And she looked good as well. They were on opposite ends. Dataji was in 2, she was in 9. So they were away from each other, but they were close to each other. But good running from them as well. They move on to the semifinals, BQs. And then we move to the last heat, which was probably the most stacked heat. Because I wouldn't say the most stacked because, like I just said, in heat 3, there was 3 women. And there's only 3 qualifying spots before having to go to the repechage. But in heat 3, we had Devynne Charlton, who is the reigning indoor champion, she is the indoor world record holder, who I feel like I don't want to say she's kind of faded, but she has kind of faded outdoors. She started off pretty well this season. She won the first race of the season in Asia. That first Diamond League, I feel like she won if I'm remembering correctly. But if she didn't win, she was super close to winning. But she hasn't set a PB at all. Maybe she has. But it was earlier in the season. She has not run faster than what she did earlier in the season so far later on in the season. But maybe she's speaking for the right time. But she was in the heat with Ackera Nugent, who also is nothing to fuck with. Like, she's nothing to play with. She's from Jamaica. She set a PB and a national record at their trials, 12:28. And Grace Stark, the third American, she is also in this heat. Devynne Charlton and Ackera Nugent, they were right next to each other in lane 1 and 2. or two and three, whichever one. They was right there next to each other, and they were together the entire time coming down the track. Hurdle 8, I swear it looked like either they hit each other or you can see for sure with Ackera's arm, her arm kind of went up. I couldn't really tell if Devynne's did, but regardless, she controlled it and got back down and finally got over on Devynne and outleaned her on the line, as you can see in the picture here. And Grace was all the way on the other end. She was struggling a little bit. Grace Alaysha was struggling to get through. Hopefully she finds her form in semifinals, which I'm chopping this up to it being her first international meet. Because she just graduated college. She just finished her collegiate season. This is her first meet overseas. So maybe that's just what it is. But she's safely through to the semifinals, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. But those are the heats for the 100 hurdles. Like I said, the semifinals is going to be crazy because let's get to the top qualifying times too. 1 second. All right, so the top qualifying times for the 100-meter hurdle so far: Jasmine, Camacho-Quinn, Tobi, Masai, Nadine, Cyrena, Danielle, Alaysha, and Ackera Nugent. Like I said, we are missing a lot of big hitters even from the top qualifying list. That's the top, I think, 9. And like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the top 8, which would be the only 8 lanes. So I didn't mention Devynne Charlton. I didn't mention Grace Stark. So those are big names that are missing from this, which lets you know we're going to be missing a couple people as we finish this semifinal on Friday. But it's going to be blitzing to see. I can't wait to see what's going to happen there. Like I said, fingers crossed. Alaysha Johnson, that's my number 1. I just want her in the finals. I want her to have her shot at that medal. But it's going to be tough. Y'all let me know what y'all's predictions are on what y'all think is going to happen in the semifinals. And if you can give a prediction, because I'm not going to predict. I cannot predict the 100 hurdles. They're that stacked and they're that close. It's anybody's race. It depends on who puts together their best race in that final, because anything can happen. Anybody can hit a hurdle. But y'all let me know what y'all's thoughts are down there, and we're going to continue. All right, now we at the action where we just watched, and we're going to start with the 110 hurdles. That is fitting because we just finished talking about the 100 hurdles. The 110 hurdle semifinals. This is big. So in the first heat, we got Grant Holloway versus Hansle Parchment. As we all know, this I hate that they put them in this semifinal heat together, because they did the same thing with the 400 hurdles, because these two I feel like need to be in separate heats so that we can get them both to the final so we can have a rematch. Because as we all know, Grant Holloway was literally the champion going into hurdle number 9 in Tokyo at the last Olympics. Hansle Parchment came behind and snuck him and beat him on the end to get gold and knock him into silver. So this is a matchup we've been waiting to see at the Olympics, and Grant Holloway he was Grant Holloway. Like, he got out. But also, I think, because as we all know, his first 7 or 8, I would say his first 7 hurdles, he's a rocket. He takes off, and there's nobody. He's essentially almost 2 hurdles ahead of everybody else. But somehow it always tends to come back. Like, he tends to give his race back because everybody else ends up catching him. Sometimes, not all the time at all. It's the percentage of people catching him is smaller than it is them not. But in at the Olympics, as we saw what happened the last Olympics, it's not something that's impossible. And you're running with dudes now who are getting closer to your PR. But Hansle Parchment, he finished 3rd with a time 13:19. Grant ended up with a time 12:98. Big Q to win going into the finals. Luckily, Hansle Parchment, his time was enough to qualify him on to the finals, so he will get to defend his title in the finals up against Grant Holloway. This is the first Jamaican and the first American that hasn't made it to the finals. Keep track, because we're about to keep it moving. The next semifinal. Was that the first semifinal? Yeah, that was the first one. The next one was Freddie Crittenden. Freddie's final had himself, had Simonelli in that, had Jason Joseph, also had hometown favorite Sasha Zoya. So this one was more wide open, because the names that I just said could have easily been the top 2. And Rasheed Broadbell. How did I forget that? And that's a big name. He was in there as well. So that's 5 names that could have made it. So I was nervous. I was nervous for Freddie. Freddie ended up getting out. And I would say, and I'm looking at it right now, I'm still looking at it back again, to hurdle maybe 5 or 6 is Freddie and Simonelli. Simonelli ended up hitting a hurdle Rasheed Broadbell came back. Sasha Zoya was hitting hurdles too, but Sasha had a nice lane on the end to knock out to get that third spot, which would have put him in the time contention. But Samba-Mayela ended up hitting a hurdle that knocked him out. Rasheed Broadbell came storming through the middle to keep up with Freddie. Freddie ended up winning that one, and he looked 10 times better than he did, I was about to say yesterday, in the repechage round. The repechage round, he ran 13.4, and that's not going to cut it. Here, he ran 13.22, 21, I think, and his PR is 12.96, and he just ran that back in Eugene a couple weeks ago. So, Freddie is looking like he's ready. Because I was nervous, but Freddie is ready. And Freddie's through to the finals. Rasheed Broadbell is through to the finals. Again, an American and a Jamaican. We love the American-Jamaican matchups. We do. The last one, my boy, just like Lele, Daniel Roberts, is when he runs, I'll be like this because I want him to succeed. I want him to succeed. So Daniel was in here, and you could tell he was nervous. I don't want to say he was nervous. I just feel like he was super focused. Like, you could tell he was super focused because he's had issues in the past, too, with clearing the hurdles because we saw what happened at World Championships in 2022. We saw what happened in Doha. He got knocked out in the semifinals in Tokyo. So we want him to get there to the finals and have a shot at another medal because he got the medal last year at Worlds, got bronze, and I feel like he can really challenge to get gold. So he puts together his race the best because he's got closing speed. He's got closing speed and he can get out. It's just him getting clean over all 10. But Orlando Bennett of Jamaica set a personal best. They was running together damn near the whole time, but really the last like 2 hurdles, they was right there together. Both of them were a lot cleaner, especially Daniel. He was so much cleaner than he was in the heats. Both boys qualified on to the finals. Like I said, that is 3 Jamaicans and 3 Americans set up in the 110 hurdles. That's going to be a dog fight because all 6 of them can win. And that's going to be good. But in the finals, like I said, we got Grant Holloway, we got Orlando Bennett, Daniel Roberts, Enrique Lopez. I might be saying his name wrong. Hansle Parchment, Rasheed Broadbell, Freddie Crittenden, and Muratake. So the finals are looking good. I believe that is tomorrow. What's today? Yeah, it's tomorrow. That's tomorrow. So that's going to be good. That's going to be good. But now we're going to move into, I believe, the 400 hurdles. Yep, we're going to move into the 400 hurdles, the semifinals for the men. In the first heat, which I hate. Like I said, this is what I was talking about. Alaysha Dos Santos versus Karsten Warholm. Why are they in the same heat when we have 3 semifinal heats? You could have put Carson in this one, Ryan in the one that he's in, and then you could have thrown Alaysha in the one for the next one so that we can have the big 3 in the finals. But this right here exposed something because one of the big 3 ain't looking too big. Alaysha Dos Santos, he got ran out by the Tennessee Frenchman, Clement. He ended up coming into maybe hurdle 8, Alaysha was behind Carson. Carson was out. But Tennessee boy, the French boy, he came and got in there with Carson and was challenging Carson coming home, pushing Dos Santos all the way to 3rd. So I was like, oh, shit. But I knew his time was going to be enough to qualify because coming into the last hurdle, into 10, he was right there with Carson. So we'll see. Because that could shake something up. Because we came into championships thinking that it was going to be the big 3 there. But then again, I'm sitting here thinking about it. Because wasn't he the SEC champion? The French boy. I swear he was the SEC champion. So he ain't no slouch. That's for sure. So he's going to make some noise possibly. And he's at home. Yeah. I just thought about that. He is in front of a home crowd and they're going to cheer him on. That's about to be interesting. That's going to be interesting. We know who the 3 to watch, but he just added himself into that conversation. Going into that final, because, I'm going to talk about Rye. Do I really need to talk about Rye? Rye literally looked like Sydney McLaughlin yesterday. The way she ran yesterday was essentially how he did. He was so far ahead of everybody coming off of 8. He was jogging the rest of the way home. And the times, Karsten ran 47.67, Rye 47.85, Clement 47.85, 47.95 for Alaysha Dos Santos. Kyron McMaster made the final 48.15. He's going to factor in as well, depending on how his fitness looks. But yeah, we're going to see. Now, we're going to move to the 200s for the men. So we had their semifinals. And in the first heat, we had the defending champion, Andre DeGrasse. And we have Kenny Bednarik, who is the silver medalist from Tokyo, who is also challenging for gold. Like, he really can challenge for gold. I don't think a lot of people are sleeping on him, but I feel like the general public is definitely sleeping on him because they don't really know about him like that. They have not watched him run this season the way he has. They probably don't even remember him running in Tokyo. But Kenny is one of those names that could really challenge Noah. Could. But I was rooting for Andre to get out of this because, like I said, Andre's one of my favorite sprinters. He's always been one of my favorite sprinters. So I was wanting him to at least get in the final just to defend your title. But I knew he wasn't going to win gold because Andre just is not – he's not in the same form that he was back then. But he finished third, 2041. He had some work to do. He ended up pushing really, really hard to beat out Shine Maswangani on the line. But Kenny was clean, smooth, 20 flat. Won that heat, big Q on to the next round, which is the finals. Now in this heat, again, like I said, I would have not put Tobago in this heat with Noah Lyles. I'd have put him in the heat with Arian. But another matchup that I wanted to wait to see in the finals, but this one was interesting because Noah Lyles got delivered his first loss since Andre beat him in Tokyo. So that's a 3-year streak that was snapped by Tobago. Tobago is one of my favorite sprinters right now. So I am very, very excited to see him run the way he did. He ran 1996. He came off the turn essentially in the lead. Like, I feel like Noah was right there, but he really started to take away and push away. And when he was pushing away, Noah was still working. But they both got off the gas coming home, essentially. But Noah worked more in this than Tobago did. And that was a big sign to me because I'm looking at it back now. Noah was actually building up the stagger on... No, I'm looking at the wrong person. Tobago was out. Noah's coming home. They right there together coming into maybe 70. The last, about 130, that's when Tobago took away and got away. And then he got off the gas. Yeah, Noah was trying to chase him a little bit, but then cut off. Tobago looked like he had so much. Like I told you, I feel like he has so much more in the tank than what he puts out. Which makes me think if he really hits that extra gear, Noah gonna be shook because he gonna take that medal from him. I just feel it in my bones that he can. But we gonna see. That's setting up a nice battle between those two and Kenny. But in the next heat, Arian Knight, and he was up against Joseph Fambile and the Zambian dude. I'm not gonna say his name because I'm in a butchering it, but you know who I'm talking about. He was with both of them coming off the turn, and he was in the lead. They had to work to beat him, and I'm looking at it now. They had to work to get him, like, at 160. They finally caught him and beat him, but I was like, hold on, who is this? But Arian Knight won that heat 2009, Joseph Fambile 2012. They're through to the finals, no shock there. Wade Van Niekerk, he faded. He faded. I wanted him in that final at the very least, but whatever. I mean, I got to see him run twice, so that's cool. But yeah, like I said, into the finals, let's see Tobago, Kenny Bednarik, Noah Lyles, Arian Knighton, Alexander Ogando, Joseph Fambile, and respect to the Zambians because I do not want to butcher your names. They're right there. So you see what I'm talking about. Good final. The final is coming, and it's gonna be blitzing. But let's get into the 400s. All right, so the first heat, we got Sawaid Nasser, we got Lika Klaver, we have Rashida Adeleke. Those are the three big names in this one. And it was crazy to me because they focused on Rashida and they focused on Lika. But they did not focus on Nasser at all. I'm like, are y'all crazy? Like, her history alone, what? She should have at least been shown, and they did like a little backstory package on her. But the craziest thing is she came out there and was like, look, if y'all forgot who I was, let me remind you real quick. Because she got Rashida on. Well, before we even get into that, and have y'all noticed this too? Like in the 400s, they've been, and even in the 400 hurdles, when they call them up for set, they hold them for at least 5 seconds. I don't want to say 5 seconds, maybe that's exaggerating, but it feels like 5 seconds, but it's like 3 seconds, and I'm like, why are y'all holding them for set that long? And there should be no false starts in a 400 because they don't really need to get out like that. And if they don't get out like that, they got 300 meters to make it up. But that's what essentially happened. They held them up for set for a long time. And Clover ended, which was crazy. I ain't never seen this before. She was up at set and then came right back down. Didn't throw her hand up. Didn't do anything. So they shot the gun off, and I thought she was gone. I thought they was gonna literally throw her out of there, but they didn't. But she faded. I was shocked because I was fully expecting Clover to be a factor into this, and I thought she for sure would at least put up a time that would get her. If she wasn't a big Q in, she was gonna be a little Q. But no, she fell to fourth. 50-44 is what she ran. But Sawa E9 said she got Rashida on coming off the second turn, and she had it going home easy. Ran 49.08 easy. Are we gonna see 47 in the finals? Are we gonna see 47 in the finals? But because she looked like she was good, like she was in good form, good shape. Rashida, she looked like she was pushing a little bit, but we're gonna see how she looks when it comes to the finals. She ran 49.95 to go ahead and qualify onto the finals. The next round had a shock. Oh my goodness. I was like, no. We had Paulino in this. We had Alexis Holmes in this. We had Nickisha Pryce in this. And we had Lavia Nielsen in this. Lavia Nielsen, as we all know, is the twin sister of Lena Nielsen, who hit the hurdle trying to get her second place spot to get in the finals in the 400 hurdles last night. Lavia, she had a false start. She kind of like blinched a little bit, but they let her stay in and gave her a yellow card. But she ended up third. But this is what I was saying when I looked at the lane assignments when it came out yesterday. I was like, Alexis Holmes, not even just the lane assignments, just the semifinal list. When I saw Nickisha Pryce and Paulino, I was like, oh shit, Alexis, you're going to have to stay with them. Like, try and stay with them as much as you can so that you can post up a good time so that you can go into the finals as a little Q. Because I just knew on paper, these two were the two that were gold medal favorites. Paulino was immediately making up the stagger on whoever was in front of her. I can't remember whoever was in front of her. I was looking at Nickisha Pryce. She was looking good the first 150. But then coming around the turn, I was like, okay, she's getting beat. People are making up staggers on her. So I'm like, what's going on? And then again, I thought about it. I'm like, she just ran indoor and outdoor collegiate seasons. Them races finally caught up to her. And I hate it because I wanted her in that final and I wanted her in top form because she looked amazing in the heats. But she ended up falling to fourth, finishing 50-77. Lavia Nielsen was third, 50-69. Alexis Holmes stayed with it because she saw when she was gone, she kept pushing. She saw Paulino. Let me keep staying with her. Alexis Holmes punched her big Q into that finals with 50 flat. Alexis looked good too. She looked like she had so much more to give too. And I was like, okay, go ahead, Alexis. And Paulino being a Paulino, like there's no shock there. 49-21, booked it all the way through, came home, ready to get another championship, get another gold. She's looking like, to me, the biggest gold medal favorite at this time. But in that last heat, we had Kendall Ellis of the United States, Sade Williams. We had Stacey Ann Williams of Jamaica, and we had Amber Anning and Natalia Kashmir. Those are 5 names that are some names that could get in the finals. But Stacey Ann Williams fell to 7th, 50-79. Kendall Ellis was in 2. She was either in lane 2 or 1. So she had work to do, and she was working. Like, she didn't get to the final. She didn't get the big Qs, but she finished 4th, 50-40. She worked hard, and she was trying to make up ground on the last 100, and she was making up ground. She just didn't get there. Like, I feel like if she had a different lane, she could have possibly made some noise, but I would be proud of that. I don't know if she's going to be – nobody would be happy about not being in the finals when you're that close to it, but I feel like she put forth her best effort, and I hope she can be proud of that. Sade Williams is the first Barbados woman to get into the 400 finals. So I believe that's right. If I'm saying that correctly, don't charge it to my mind. I could have sworn I saw that. But regardless, she is in the finals. She's in the finals with Amber Anning and Natalia Kashmir. They were literally together on the line. On the line. But the difference is Kashmir, she was running full speed. And she's fast as hell. And she's gonna be a factor into that gold medal conversation. But when you look at how she was running and looking at how Amber was running, Amber Anning runs like, I'm just jogging. That's what she looked like the whole way. And for her to run 49.47, that's crazy. She ran 49.47. Natalia ran 49.45. Them 400s for the women are just as spicy as these men. So Like I said, we got Sour Eat Nasser, we got Mariledy Paulino, we got Natalia Cashmere, Amber Anning. She ran a personal best doing that, looking like she was jogging. Sade Williams, Rashida Adeleke, Alexis Holmes, and Henriette Jager into the finals. That's going to be good because there's only two that we're not running. Well, I'm going to count Alexis's as sub 50 because she's 50 flat. She's essentially 49. So that's damn near everybody in the final that has run 49 so far today. So that's good. But let's get into the race of the meet. The race of the meet, as y'all saw, I crip walked. You can't really see it. And I'm so tight back here, I can't really get into a full crip walk. But like I said, I think I said it the first for the heats. I said if he wins, I'm crip walking. Because if he got the gold teeth in his mouth, he got the gold grills, and he had the gold grills as he's been wearing. I was like, this is some real nigga shit. Like I have to give him a celebration. Boy, this final was crazy, though. Let's get into it. So we had, like I said, going into this, Quincy Hall, Matthew Hudson-Smith, and Kirani James. That was my big three. With Jereem Richards being somebody that's going to challenge. That's what I was thinking going into this. So then we get in here, and the race starts, and I'm looking at Quincy, but then I can't help but look at Matthew Hudson-Smith, who is making up staggers on everybody going around. He's making them up. Jereem Richards is booking it because Jereem is out there, I think, in 8. Booking it. Quincy is right there in 7. And I'm looking at Quincy. I'm like, Quincy, you kind of not making up ground. Like, what are you doing? On the backstretch, he looked like he was fighting so hard right then and there. I'm like, damn, does he have enough to come home? Did he use all his energy? Even though it didn't look like he was using it, I was like, did he use all his energy? So I'm sitting there thinking I'm battling with it, but as I'm looking at him, I'm looking at Jereem Richards, I'm looking at Kirani James. Kirani was right there. Matthew Hudson-Smith was literally doing what he'd been doing. It was them three that was literally pushing the pace. And we get around that turn. Let me pull it up. I got to watch it back again because that shit was crazy. Matthew Hudson-Smith, Kirani James, and Jereem Richards, they come off the turn well ahead of everybody. Freaking Quincy Hall was in 4th place. He was in 4th at like maybe not 110. What am I talking about? He was in 4th at maybe 380. What am I saying? Not 380. 280, about 300 meters. Coming home, he was in 4th. The last like 80 meters, he had to work. Matthew Hudson-Smith was pushing too. He was pushing. Kirani was fading. Jereem Richards is out here pushing too. And you just see Quincy just grimacing. Like he fighting. This boy gets Matthew Hudson-Smith on the line. When I tell you I have never seen no more G shit like that in track in my life. That walk down, that was a hawk down. Not a walk down. That was a hawk down. The best walk down that I can remember in recent history is Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce running down Daryl Nita at that one meet some years ago. That was the best walk down that I've seen in track in a long time. This right here is right up there with it because this nigga right here was in the back. Like he went all the way in the back, but when it comes to race contention, he was in 4th, so he was out of the medals. He had to run because Matthew Hudson-Smith was not just like barely in front of him. He was a good 30 meters. No, I don't want to say 30. He was a good 15 meters in front of him. I'm lying. I'm stretching it, but that's what it feels like. Watching the race, that's what it feels like. But Quincy literally thugged it out, dug deep. He dug so deep, and I'm watching it back again. Like, that was crazy. But Kirani faded and got out of the medals. But let's talk about the times, though. Michael Norman, let's talk about him, too, though. Michael Norman faded all the way to 8th. I'm like, damn, that's not a good look. Because is he going to be on the 4x4? That's my question. Because you got not Matthew Hudson-Smith. You got Quincy Hall, who is definitely going to be on that. He's going to be on that. He might run anchor. Shit. Quincy is going to be on that 4x4. Speaking of Quincy Wilson, I saw a clip of him doing block starts, which we know he essentially was pegged to run for that mixed 4x4. And he hadn't. But what would he be doing this for in Paris if he's not going to run? So I'm thinking he could possibly end up running in the first round. But we got him. You got Vernon Norwood, who put in work on that world record team. Even Bryce Devynne, he could be selected. And then you got Chris Bailey, who performed better than Michael did in this final. And then you got Rai Benjamin, who has been on 4x4s before. And I'm pretty sure they're going to throw him on it. So that's... I don't know about you, Michael. That's rough. And I feel bad for him because he finished last in Tokyo, too, if I'm remembering correctly. So that's sad for him. But he finished fourth, 45-60. And that's the thing, 45-62. Samuel Agazi, 44-73 for 7th. Chris Bailey, 44-58 for 6th. Kirani James, 5th, 43-87. And Jereem Richards set a national record and ran 43-78 and didn't get a medal. I hate that for him. I wanted him to get a medal, especially seeing how close he was to it. I wanted him to get that medal, but he didn't. But Muzala, I cannot pronounce his last name. You see it right here. Got up for bronze, set a national record as well, 43-74. Congratulations to him. Matthew Hudson-Smith, I know he hot because he had that goal right there in his mouth. 43-44, set a national record. And that is silver for him. And that boy Quincy Hall set a PB to win gold. Another gold medal for America. That's crazy. What a final. What a final. Congratulations to Quincy. He did that shit. He did it. But y'all let me know what y'all thought. Please drop your comments down below. Please subscribe if you are new. And please thumbs up the video. That helps so much. It's free. It's free. You got this far and haven't, just hit it for me. Just hit it. Just hit it. But I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. We got the 110 hurdles finals. Do we have the 400 finals for the women? I got to look at the schedule. But we got the repêchages for the 100 hurdles. So the big hitters, they're not going to be running tomorrow. But yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow. We almost done. We finish up on Saturday. So they've been delivering. But I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace.